Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Latina Lifestyle Legacy podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. There is so much to update you on, and this is going to be such a valuable and kind of lengthy episode with some updates on my personal life and business life and all that fun stuff. But the main purpose of this episode is going to be about sharing strategies on how to pull yourself out of a bad mood and stay focused on your goals. And it could even be a bad mood or a bad phase in your life, just a funky place. And I definitely have experience with this because it likes to throw us curveballs. And it's so important to know how to get back on track and stay focused, right? So when I like to start off with kind of like these initial questions, what I loved about my week and lesson for the week. So something that I loved about the week is that I attended my first online speed networking event, and I really loved it. So it wasn't speed dating, but it was speed networking. And it was such an interesting concept where you entered, like you would get partnered up with a random person and you had like 3 minutes, but then you can also request more time to continue networking. And it was just a great way. Like I feel like going to online networking events can be great, but I also loved like that more personable side of networking. And, you know, my introverted side, if you are an introvert, my introverted side really loved it, just like to have that one-on-one connection, but also kind of meet more people at the same time because it was a timed networking. So I really, really loved it. And I was able to get to know people. And even if like they weren't an ideal client or something, great referral system that we're able to do. And I think the biggest thing is like following up with people after that. But overall, definitely want to try something like that and want to host something like that for Latina Lifestyle Legacy and want to bring in more networking events and more things like that. I think it was so powerful and I really love that. For my lesson for this week is just a reminder is that contribution is extremely important in our life. I've been reading this book called, I finished it. It's called Wealth Habits by Candy Valentino. And, you know, it's so powerful, like all the strategies she shares about investing, whether that's in Roth IRA and stocks and in real estate, really goes into depth about like debt and credit and all that stuff. But her last chapter, I loved how she was really intentional and really talked about how contributing, whether that's money or with time, like at the end of the day, all this wealth that you build, you know, it's great, but like you're going to get to a point where you want to feel more fulfilled and purposeful. And that comes back to like, it just goes back around with contributing. And so I want to be more intentional with contributing. And again, this can be, if you don't have to do it financially, it can be with your time. And however, you know, we all have a skill and we all have something that we contribute to this earth. So however you see that, I think for me, I definitely contribute a lot with my time, and like I love connecting with people and just like sending them resources in any way I can. So really love doing that. But I really love that book, Wealth Habits. Highly recommend it if any of you want to check it out. So another big update that I think I should mention, especially because it kind of aligns with this episode and this topic, is the strategies I use to pull myself out of a bad mood or just crazy accidents. Speaking of accidents, so some of you may follow me on my personal Instagram, and I shared an update about being involved in a car accident the other day. And it was a pretty intense car accident. was my first car accident and hopefully my last. And the fact that I did not get hurt, I didn't hurt anybody, is pretty much a miracle. So it was raining. Just kind of a quick recap is that it was raining. I was kind of going down a hill on the freeway. I was in the middle lane, and I could see that, well, pretty quickly I saw that there was like a puddle area in my car. And once my car hydroplaned, it did a 360 two times. I'm so sorry. It did a 360 two times, and it hit the center of the freeway, and then my car flipped over. And it flipped over, and I was by that time in the carpool lane. I know I'm kind of being detailed, but once I was upside down, I unbuckled myself, and thank God someone was able to stop and help me get out of the car. And I think like just realizing I was okay, like I'm like, is anything broken? Is anything bleeding? There was glass all over, but I don't know, somehow I literally had 0 scratches and was not hurt at all. And thank God nobody else got hurt. So it was just, once I was out the next day, I was pretty sore and bruised up all over my back and neck. But honestly, I mean, it could have been so much worse. So I'm just so grateful. And at that point, I think I've just, how do I say this? Like, it's just been, March was a month. March was an emotional roller coaster, not in a bad way, but like I moved, I've got a career change happening, and then my car accident, like all these things that they're not bad, but they're just like, pretty big changes. Like whenever you move, it's a big change. It's just something that you're changing your routine, you're changing things, you're obviously a career change. And then my car, like it's just kind of just like one thing on top of the other can be pretty intense. And it felt at that point a little overwhelming. And that's why I want to bring this topic up, because how do you stay focused on your goals? And I feel like a lot of people just I don't want to focus this whole episode on me. I'm just giving you an example of like, I go through stuff too, and how people go through these difficult times and how to get through them. And I know I'm not the only one going through a difficult time, whether that's either if you're going through something financially or in your personal life or in your relationship, and it can feel very draining in your business. And I know a lot of people they don't talk about it. They don't talk about it, and it's fine. Like you don't have to share your whole life with other people. And sometimes I know a lot of people like to share everything that's happening on social media, but sometimes it's like, you want to just get through it on your own and in your own way, right? Meaning you don't want the whole world to know. And so, so many layoffs are happening right now, and just overall, people are going through stuff. And I want you to remember to focus on what you can control. And there are many things that, despite so many things you're not able to control, there are things that you can. So I want to start off with your mental health. That can look like certain things like visualization. So that means when you're sitting down, you are picturing your future. You are picturing the future best version of yourself, visualizing it. You're journaling. Journaling has been super key for me because I don't have a therapist right now. I mean, my sisters, my boyfriend, they're all my therapists, but like, I really genuinely like to kind of write it all out in my journal and really process things first on my own. So I highly recommend journaling, praying as well, if that is something that you are open to doing. I love prayer, and of course, therapy, and also gratitude. So in my journal, I always end with what I am grateful for. And I try to be very specific with like things that I'm grateful for that happened like the day before or something like that. So I'm pretty specific with my gratitude because there's always things to be grateful for. Yeah, despite like all these different changes. My car, like, I'm just so grateful. Like, I'm able to walk, I'm able to do everything. And, you know, I didn't have to go to the hospital. I didn't hurt anybody. Like, there's so many more things that I am honestly grateful for. And all these things, really, I think the thing about mental health is it takes time to do. It's kind of like exercising, right? Like, it takes time and you're not going to see the changes right away. And this is similar to your mental health. Like, okay, you journaling one day is you're like, okay, how am I feeling better? Like, I want to feel better right now. And I think you will feel a little better, but you're going to see the main self-awareness, the realization, the more clarity once you continue these habits, and to consistently do these habits and these practices, even when you are feeling like you're 100%, you're like, I feel good. But because you're feeling good is because you're doing these habits, you know, you're taking care of your mental health. So I really want to start off with focusing on your mental health. And the next thing I want to talk about is what another thing you can control is your physical health, right? So personally, I don't know if you've ever heard of 75 hard, but I am doing that challenge right now. Sorry if you heard my dog Leo, he's right here walking around. So I do 75 hard, and what that is, it's a challenge. It's a mental challenge that Andy Frisella came up with, and I want to talk about like what exactly that is. So the first thing is you have to do 2 workouts. One has to be outside for 45 minutes, and the other workout could be inside or outside. Take a progress picture of yourself, read 10 pages of a personal development book, drink 1 gallon of water, follow a diet, and then no cheat meals or alcohol. So there is an app for this. It's free. I love it. And basically, I kind of do this challenge whenever I'm like, oh my God, my life feels a little overwhelming. And I just feel like this really grounds me and kind of like challenges me to really put myself first. And like all of these like workouts and like outside workouts, usually I go on a walk or a run, like they just help me get more clarity. So it keeps me very focused. And in general, you know, working out really makes me, I think my body helps me like feel good, look good, feel good, and all that stuff. And I love the idea of like that it challenges you to go outside, especially for people like a lot of what my work entails is like being inside, being on my laptop, and the fact that I'm able to challenge myself to go outside really, really helps. And the reading also allows me to like learn a lot. So this 75 hard kind of entails like a little bit of everything. And currently, actually, just side note, I'm reading $100 Million Offer by Alex Hormozy. It's an incredible book, and I've been loving reading that book. So I've gone over so far, you know, things for your mental health and your physical health. The next thing I want to go over is really resting and sleeping. So I know sometimes, you know, when we're just like in a bad mood, it's because we are tired. We are probably burned out. We're feeling overwhelmed, and we just need sleep. And I'm that person, honestly, like, I wish I didn't sleep. Like, I wish I could stay awake because I just like always want to be doing something. And usually in the night is when like I'm more focused and creative, which can be a good and bad thing because I want to be a morning person, and usually I am, but it's just kind of like that mentality shift, like, because some people, they are super knocked out by 9 or 10, and that's like when my brain is like, oh my God, let's just sit down and get everything done. But it's just my own personal challenge. But overall, the point here is getting sleep. And sometimes that means like literally just not scheduling something for one day and resting, sleeping in, and I promise you, you're going to feel so much better. Your body's going to like thank you so much because it needs rest. So that can also look like going to bed earlier than what you normally do, and really just like time blocking in your calendar, like, you know what, I'm going to be sleeping more. Me personally, like I used to be that person that didn't have to sleep that much. Like I was fine with like 5 hours, 4 hours of sleep. And now like I need 7 or 8 hours, which is like a lot for me. But I also feel the difference throughout the day where I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much like more clarity and I'm not in a bad mood. So that's why I'm sharing, like, sleeping is important. Please, please don't think like less sleep is good. No, you need to sleep or else or else it kind of just like defeats the purpose of you staying up so late, because then you're not even like in your best vibe, right? So I think sleeping and resting is super important. Next thing I want to share is going to a networking event. So this is also really important. So I want you to like surround yourself with different type of people, vibes, different, networking events. They're different places. And just like get to connect with new people, get inspired, get motivated. Sometimes there's times where I don't go to networking events because I'm like, okay, I'm already inspired and motivated. Like I know what I got to do, but I just need to sit down and do it. But sometimes if you're in that funk and you just need that reminder, it's okay to go to networking events and learn something new, meet new people, and get into rooms where not really a lot of people know you. Get a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe this is putting yourself out there, or you can start off with online networking events, but I'll tell you right now, nothing is like an in-person networking event. Is just like way, way better. So highly recommend to get yourself out of a funk and to stay focused on your goals is to go to networking events. And you can find these on meetup.com or eventbrite.com. And, once you start following people on podcasts or on Instagram in these spaces, a lot of them go to network. A lot of them share networking events. So then you can, and there's a lot of times they're like monthly or something. So that's really great. Accountability groups and masterminds. So I have to share this because I think this is also a great way to keep that I feel keeps people on check. So I host a weekly accountability group call every Monday at 7 p.m. through Zoom. And it's a group of people who either they have full times, that they're starting a business, and we all like share our goals for the week. So I have a whole course and videos on how to plan out their goals, your time management, your project management. But then after doing all of that, it's all about the accountability that we want to keep ourselves on check. So we discuss our goals and our visions, and then it's great opportunity if you fall off track on something. So, maybe one week you kind of had a very busy week or something threw you off. But the accountability group is like, all right, let's get back to it. What's going to be the goal for this week? So versus you kind of being on your own and like you lose like track of your goals. And, sometimes you need that self accountability and that. So I wanted to create this community where we're able to push ourselves to accomplish those goals. So at the end of the day, whatever you do, the most important part is to not give up. Even if you're going through a funk, you're going through some type of weird phase, like making sure you don't give up. It's okay if there are delays or if something is just like you need to adjust from the plan. Like that is completely normal, right? But just the most important part is to not give up. So I don't ever want you to feel like, okay, I'm just going to give up on my goals. Like, don't do that. And I already gave you some suggestions. Re-listen to this episode if you have to, in order for you to stay on track, stay connected with your goals and your vision, and know that you can do it. Takes time, and it's definitely possible. If you are interested in the accountability groups, and if in the accountability group that I host, you can send me a DM on Latina Lifestyle Legacy Instagram, or you can check out the link in my bio and all that stuff, or book a consultation call with me, however you want. And we'll usually, maybe I'll once you send me a DM, I would love to get on a call with you and just kind of see like how I can best support you and all of that fun stuff. So looking forward to connecting with all of you. I have so many great episodes coming up. Thank you so much for your patience. I was in kind of traumatizing car accident, and I'm alive, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to continue doing these episodes for you all. Please leave a review. Let me know what you learned, what you loved about it, and I am so happy to read those and support you in any way I can. Have a beautiful week, and talk to you soon.